it. So learned my lesson. Don't trust everybody because you never know how they're gonna spin it.
You never know how they're going to spin it. And for you, Allie, I
Mm-mm.
mean, you did give, we saw you pregnant. So that's got to be a high too. Like you have this home movie of
Yes.
just.
Yes. In fact, you know what though? What I'm bummed about is like I gave them footage of me actually giving birth. Like I was the day after that open house, the first scene you see in Buying Beverly Hills. I am very pregnant, right? I'm talking about like I got a basketball on my belly and whatnot. But I that was the day before I gave birth. So like I was literally about to pop and I wasn't even supposed to be there. And I'm like, well, I haven't given birth yet. I was past due.
Filming a show.
I guess I'll come. And I'm like, I hope my water doesn't break on here. But yes, seeing myself pregnant, having the baby, being featured on that was really special. There were some moments with the kids that I really wish would have been aired. I know people are like, oh, like I heard your podcast, by the way, previous one about the show, being like, I don't really want to see for their kids. My kids, people want to see. They're really cute. They're really fun.
Cute.
They've got a little bit of my personality. So like they're more entertaining. But it was a high to have that aspect on the show. And I'm really glad they got to see a glimpse of my own, my personal life too. And hopefully there'll be more, expansion on who we are as individuals and some fun things that we're part of and more of the day to day.
Whose podcast did you hear that they said that they don't want to see
Your
kids?
podcast. So it's so funny. Before we came on here, I was like, what are we doing? Whose podcast? Literally an hour ago. And she's like, oh yeah, we're being filmed. I'm like, oh, I got to run home and like put like clothes on. I had workers at the office earlier. Anyway, so I did, I took a little peek and I saw Buying Beverly Hills,
I watched it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
And I did hear you say that you weren't so sure about the show, which, hey, listen, it's not for everybody, but yeah, I'm curious to know what.
Well, that's when he hadn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you. Two
His
things.
first impression.
I got you.
First of all, I love that out of all the great interviews I did with all these great reality TV stars, many from Netflix. Yes, you listened to an episode where
I had to.
We did our homework.
Yeah, you guys are like calling me out, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I was talking about the Orange County Housewives, where I was saying I don't need to see certain people's children anymore. And like, but I did say, no, with Buying Beverly Hills, I did say like, I haven't watched it. I said like, look, I can't really watch everything, if I'm going to interview people. So I didn't get around to it. I don't know. But then when you guys were scheduled, I was like, I usually watch an episode. I've watched all 8. So I was wrong. I stand corrected. I thought I would just, watch the one. It's a great show. It's a great show.
It's easy to binge. It's a page turner. I totally get that.
Can we spin this on you? What do you wish you saw more of?
Great question.
Beverly Hills that you didn't see, or maybe you saw a little bit, wish you would have saw more?
Well, you know what it is like for me, it was just like, look, we've had, and we'll get into this later in this show too, because I got some questions, but look, I think $1 Million Listing LA is great. I think Selling Sunset is brilliant. I think Selling the OC is phenomenal. So it's just like, oh, how is Buying Beverly Hills going to be different than Selling Sunset or even like Selling the OC? So I went in skeptical, not that I wouldn't like it because I love the others. I just didn't think I would like it as much, but here it is. Look, I think I would have loved to have seen more of the two of you. You know what I mean? It was a lot. And listen, this is how it works, right? We're season 1. It was a lot of Farrah and Alexia, and I totally get that. It was great, but I would love to see more of the two of you. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. I think we're getting to know there's a lot of agents that are featured on the show, and that's what a season 2 is for, right?
Sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, we think that too. We want to we have a lot to share.
Yeah. And I think like you get to know certain people in season 1, and then you see more of others in season 2. So I think that's what I would like.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, Melissa, you did say that this was all innocent and you worked it out with Alexia, but then Ben comes out and says, many times, I don't think it was once, I think it was like 3 or 4 times that you were a social climber and implying that you created this whole thing just for your own clout. Like, what do you say to that? And why is Ben saying this? See, I really did watch it.
Yeah. So again, I've been with the company for a long time. And the thing is with Ben, for some reason, we've never clicked. Okay. Like it's always kind of been like that with me and Ben. And, I called him, one of my friends said, Ben is a NARP. And I was like, what's a NARP? And it's not a real person. And I call him that. I'm like, you're a NARP. Like, I don't know you. Like, I can connect with anyone. I can connect with a tree. Okay. And some reason with Ben, we just never meshed. And yes, we do get, closer on the show. However, like he doesn't know me. He's never given me the chance to know me. And there was a scene that didn't make it, and he kind of calls me out. And I'm hoping more of that shows for next season. But I confront him and I'm like, listen, you've never taken the chance to know me. So you don't know if I'm a social climber or not. And the thing is with me is, born and raised in a small town in Texas, moved to LA. And when I'm friends with someone, it's because they're a cool person. It's not because they have X amount of followers or they're on this movie or TV show. If I click with someone, it's because I genuinely like them. And so I think people see when I'm with people who have like a high following or they're on whatever, they think I'm just using them to get something when in reality, there we go. I just enjoy their company. So he doesn't know me. He can't say that.
I will jump in and say Melissa is like such a good friend. Like she is the type of girl that like, I mean, she will do anything for you. I mean, she's like at the drop of a hat, like she will do anything you ask, like not anything you ask her, but like if you really need help, she's the friend you want because she will go above and beyond to show that she is a genuine, loyal, loving friend. So I have to jump in.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That is real life.
Yeah. So Ben and I mean, we talked a little bit, but we clearly have more to figure out because I did not know he said all that shit about me off camera.
And it all worked out because, I mean, look, we see Alexia. She really just wants everyone to be honest with her. And you were.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Take me down this road because I do, listen, Brandon even brought it up. Joey even said it. And I tend to agree with them on this, not against you, but just take me through the mindset of how can you disagree with Alexia, have an argument with Farrah? How does this work? I mean, they're the boss's daughters. How is Mauricio not going to side with them? Like, how does this work in the office dynamics? I mean, I watch the show, but I tend to just still not understand how, if there's a real conflict in the office, how this all plays out.
Okay, so let me understand your question. Okay, so you're saying how if there's an argument within the office, how it gets resolved, whether
we'll say you have a problem with Alexia or Brandon does, or Joe, or any of these other featured agents or not agents. Like, how is this, like, how do you go to the boss,
I get
top
it.
boss, Mauricio? How is this ever going to be decided upon in a way that is not in Alexia or Farrah's favor?
I get what you're saying because people tiptoe around them. Is that what you mean? And like, if there's an issue, they don't bring it up to them or they just let it slide because they either feel like their career is in jeopardy or just of who they are, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like if I worked there and say I had a problem with Allie, I would say this is a problem and it's a real business issue and I'm going to go to Mauricio. If I have the same problem, me personally, with, say, Alexia, I'm not going to Mauricio. That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think,